All right. Today's gonna be a bit different. It's not a trade recap or anything. I did not execute on any trades. However, I'm just gonna basically go over how you can avoid shitty price action. And today was a perfect example. And yeah, this week has been filled with just booty ass price action, bro. Um, we did have a couple setups today. Didn't execute on any. I'm kind of glad I didn't because I did miss out on some losses. I'm not sure how many losses we had. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Starting off on the 4 hour. It's basically just gonna be like a trade recap, except that I didn't take any trades. So, but I am gonna drop some sauce in this video. So, yeah. All right. Starting off on the 4 hour, we are kind of bouncing, just up and down here. Not really doing much. Just typical consolidations. However, the draw on liquidity is still just as the other 2 days. This low resistance we have formed right here. Dude, this chair is actually about to piss me off. I swear, the noises like go up times 10 when I start recording. Like it never makes this much noise when I'm not recording. I don't know why. That's crazy. But anyways, we're bouncing off this hourly right or this 4 hour right here. Inverse this 4 hour, but this doesn't really mean much to me because we are just chopping up here. So want to see some a new form of manipulation before we go down to the 1 hour. Let me check ES. Okay, we do have an SMT right there at those highs. Not really much to pay attention to though, just because we were chopping, so it doesn't really mean much. Where's 9 a.m.? Dude, I clicked this 3 times and you only played 1 candle. Are you serious? All right, here we go. So on the hourly, on ES we had great low resistance built up. As you can see, we're building trend line right here. Very obvious. We have, this is London low. We have just the same draws up here. We have beautiful trend line right here. So on that 4 hour, we had great trend line towards all-time highs right there. And then on this hourly, we have lower time frame trend line, which is very, very beautiful. So don't even have to aim, if we do get longs, have to aim all the way up here towards all-time highs. You can really just aim for this low resistance right here. And in terms of the 15-minute, yeah, we took out Asia low, have an SMT with Asia right there. So this, we really could get continuation longs, like a 5 or 15-minute pullback after we expand higher up. But of course, we're just gonna wait to see how that played out. Excuse me, that was kind of loud. Anyways, let's just get into market open. All right, so if we are going to have a continuation model, I want to see this 15-minute get inverse and wait for a 5 or 15-minute pullback. Honestly, if this was the lowest low that we had and then we swept it, made an SMT, I wouldn't want to see us manipulate lower. But since we had this, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the drawings actually. But since we had these lows right here, I was open to I was open for basically market to come down. If we did not have these lows here and it just looked like this, like if we just saw this, then if we did come lower, I would kind of like second guess myself going long. Wouldn't really want to see that happening, but literally just because we have this low here, I could see this as a possible, manipulation down here. And as I showed before, I kind of repeated myself just now, sorry about that, but as I said before, we had very great trend line right here on ES, so I would like to see that get ran as well. Any type of manipulation to the downside is reasonable in my eyes. So yeah, open for either side of the market today, so let's go and play this out. So we have a massive dump at market open. This is insane. 50-point candle, bro. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, after seeing that first candle off market open, it was pretty safe to say that we were going to come towards these lows down here. And yeah, I wanted to see ES at least take Asia and maybe leave this low open while NQ takes that low and makes an SMT. I don't even remember if we got that or not, so I'm going to have to figure out once we play this out. But We also have a 15-minute. Let me see what other draws we had down here. So we had an unmitigated 15-minute. Just this hourly that we've already been inside, but this is just something I'm looking to get hit more specifically because I want to scale down and see what unmitigated gaps we can use to just fill in our confluences. So we do have that 15 minutes, so this is perfect. Now we just wait for, once we tap this, we just wait for the entry. We dump, we hit that, great rejection wick right here. Now, here's our, this right here is our manipulation leg that we're going to be looking to take the highest inversion fair value gap from, okay? And at this point in time, let me see what ES took. Yeah, so we did have an SMT here. As you can see, we didn't take that low there, but we did take Asia, which is great. Session liquidity, and then NQ took that low that we did not take right there. So yeah, we'll see what the highest time frame inversion is on this leg. I think it was a 3-minute. Yeah, it was a 3-minute. And we have an unmitigated, we don't even form the 5-minute yet, but the 5-minute does get formed up here, so I'm going to mark that out. My neck hurts. All right, so yeah, just waiting for this 3 minutes to get inversed. Boom. Okay, and let's see if anything else happens. So the 2-minute happens. So when this 2-minute closes, that's when the 5 minutes also closes, forming the 5-minute. And ideally, I wanted the 5-minute to be my break-even point. So honestly, nothing was valid here, even if we did take a discretional trade on a lower time frame for a value gap, because we should be taking the highest time frame, which is this 3-minute. But as you can see, by the time that 5-minute ends up closing, we do already tap inside the 5-minute. Therefore, it's pretty much invalid unless you want to, you know, are a risk taker. But if we did take a discretionary trade on a lower time frame for a value gap, such as a 2-minute, we, you know, it literally, the 2-minute, like right before it closes, we make the 5-minute. So, yeah, it's pretty much invalid as well. Same thing here on the 1-minute. Literally the exact same thing. So did not take that, and instead I was like, just because we do that doesn't mean I'm not open to take longs. Okay, it's just I'm not looking for that entry. I was gonna wait for this 5-minute to get tapped because I mean the draw is all the way over here. Like my main DOL is this all-time high. We have plenty of like room to like, you know, run up. So I'm fine with a bigger stop loss here just because I'm very confident in this draw that we have. But yeah, that's that. So at this point in time, we're just waiting for this 5 minutes to get closed through. And if I'm gonna just play it until we do, okay, so right here, we end up getting it, but it's invalid. Now I'm gonna walk through the price action slightly before we actually get that, okay? So, excuse me, that was bad. Yeah, I really don't get much here. I don't need to mark this because we have that. We end up forming a 5-minute right here, and I figured this gap probably wouldn't get tapped into just seeing this rejection wick. Like, this looks like a breakaway gap in my eyes. Let's mark that, and then we'll just mark the 5-minute with this so we can see when it gets inversed. So yeah, I wanted to see a pullback to this 5-minute, similarly to what we had yesterday. I showed it in the trade recap. Basically, we had a 5-minute that was waiting to get inversed, and right before we got the 5-minute inverse, we pulled back into a 5-minute down here. Literally the same exact thing is what I was expecting to happen, bro. It's kind of weird. Same bias and everything. So we had a bullish gap, right? And we tapped back into that bullish gap, gave a GD model, and then we inversed the 5-minute. And that's basically what I was just looking for today. So, let's just quit yapping and play this out. So we close the 5-minute. All right, right here, we don't close it, so we're waiting for a whole new set of 5 minutes. I just said that completely wrong. That was so grammatically incorrect. But yeah, we inverse the 5-minute all the way up here. So let's see where that 1-minute candle is. It's all the way up there. So at this point in time, I wanted to see the 5-minute get inverse like around right here and go break even at this high right here, or even maybe this 5 or 15-minute that I have marked out. And unfortunately, right when we give the entry, we already tap. What, that was not a 15-minute. What the fuck was I marking? Am I tripping? Okay, it was a 5-minute up here. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm kind of confused. I was not prepared for this. What did I have marked out here? Why did I have this as a 5? Oh, I was looking to see if this got inversed. Okay, I think that makes sense now. But yeah, as I said, this was the break-even point. And unfortunately, we tapped it right when we got the 5-minute inverse entry, so it was pretty invalid. I was not looking to take it. And the only long I would be willing to take is if we pulled back into this 5-minute and, you know, got some sort of inverse to give our entry. And it was pretty unlikely, so I was most likely off for the day. However, I did notice something. Okay, we did have here, we have an SMT here. Okay, that's what this was marked out for. Okay, that was my bad. This was just to show that we filled this 5-minute as well as this 15-minute, and we made an SMT here, right there and there, and right there and there. As you can see, that's basically what I have that marked out for. So that was kind of confusing. Even I didn't remember that, but yeah. So we have a 1-minute gap here. We also have a, sorry, wrong thing. Let's go back to NQ. We had a 2-minute, and I think that was the highest time frame. Yeah, that was the highest time frame. So this was technically a short. More of a mechanical short. As I said, my bias was more bullish, but you know, this is pretty clean. If I go on the 15-minute and mark the OTE zone, you probably, I think this was OTE. Let's see. Yeah, we're literally directly inside of the OTE zone from this London high, from the low we just made. Filled a 15 and a 5-minute, had an SMT, like everything was aligning with shorts right here, at least in this lower time range. Okay, on the higher time frame, definitely still bullish. Okay, but on the lower time frame, this does look pretty bearish. So if we do get this inverse, it would be pretty nice. And did not take this just because I'm still leaning bullish and I didn't want to fade my bias, especially with how lovely those draws look. Those look like perfect, bro. So I did end up just paper trading this. Boom, got the 2-minute entry right here. And honestly thought this was going to lose. Obviously, I didn't really care because it was a paper trade, but break-even point at this 5-minute that we have down here. And then targets were basically, because I viewed this low as being protected, so I didn't really think we would come down here again. But we had this massive 15-minute rejection wick, and basically I just had the CE and the OTE as targets for TP. And yeah, this is the short that happened. This did end up winning. Okay. Where was it? Okay, it wasn't here yet. So we just tapped this and we developed, this looks like to be a trend line. Okay, right here. So I know there's probably a lot of people that actually took this, and pattern trade wise, it looks nice. Like, this is definitely something I would have took like just a couple months ago, but dude, okay. So we tap into a 1-minute right here. It's very tiny, but we do reject off that. Let's see if we have anything else. Excuse me. Bro, why am I burping so much? Okay, so we tap into that 1-minute, and we have a very, very solid, let me get this 2-minute out the way because it's kind of being annoying. We have this 1-minute right here that looks very clean. We're kind of chopping up for about 10 minutes, and we have one solid bearish gap right here. So if this gets inverse, we can anticipate, you know, running up to take that high time frame low resistance as I wanted. Now, the reason why I did not take this was, for one, we have an unmitigated 5-minute down here, okay? It would have been different if we tapped into this 5-minute and then got this. Then yeah, it would have been definitely more chances that I would have taken it, okay? But excuse me, but considering if we did take this, stops would literally be like 5 points away. Oops. 5 points away from being at an unmitigated gap. So that's really not ideal. And for 2, right when we get this entry, as you can see, this trend line that we are starting to form, you can anticipate this getting hit, right? So we can see how this next close candle happens. Boom. Basically just tap the trend line and, yeah, this was pretty obvious in my eyes to avoid, and I had a very strong conviction that we would just tap this trend line and continue lower, especially since we had an unmitigated 5 minute. So at bare minimum, I was expecting this to get tapped before, if we do end up running this. I was just basically expecting this 5 minute to get hit first. So for one, we avoided this 5 minute, which would have been a loss, and this was a winning trade, this 2 minute short, but not really the most A plus considering just our bias was bullish. So stayed out of this one, and then we also avoided another long setup right here, which was also a loss. End up hitting that, and then we smacked TP here. Great rejection wick. Now here's how we avoided another loss. Okay, actually I don't know for sure if it was a loss or not, but I don't know if it was a trade at all. That's what I meant to say. But we fill this OTE zone of that 15-minute rejection wick. We respect this 1 minute imbalance. We also respect a 2 minute imbalance, a 3 minute imbalance as well. And I don't think a 4. Yeah, we inverse on the 4 and on the 5 minute, which is pretty unfortunate. I didn't really like that, but I loved how we have this massive rejection wick, especially off this OTE zone of that 15-minute rejection wick. And if we see, we have an SMT right there. So this is literally perfect, bro. Like, if you lost today, bro, don't worry, dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, today was perfect opportunity for longs. Just the market had other plans, all right? Like, this looked like great price action. Just the way, if these just played out, bro, this price action would have been probably the best we had all month, in my opinion. But just weren't given, man. We have a 1 minute right here. We have the highest time frame was a 3 minute. We have a 2 minute right there. We have two 2 minutes, and then we have this 3 minute right there. Let me check. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. Yeah, so the highest time frame is this 3 minute gap, okay? Now we have two 3 minute gaps. So, excuse me. Not my bad. I thought I was going to sneeze or burp. Okay, where was it? So, yeah, I don't think this was a trade. On the 2 minute, we did not inverse. Maybe on the 1 minute. Okay, yeah, so on the 1 minute, if you did take this, this is definitely more of a discretional type of entry. Let's see. Well, we did tap, so by the time we get that 1 minute entry, we are inside of a 3 minute, so that's definitely something we wouldn't take, but it looks pretty solid. I mean, even if you did take this, yes, it was a losing trade, but you should have definitely gone break even once we rejected that 3 minute up here, which is also a 2 minute. So yeah, if anything, it was a break even, but we avoided 1, 2, and just this shitty trade right here. That wasn't even a trade, to be honest with you, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but yeah, that's pretty much how we avoided taking losses today, and not sure why the market just wanted to dump. I really don't know why, like what we were aiming for. Just chopping down, bro. Let me get out of replay mode and see what's happening right now. Yeah, man, that's some bull crap. Let's see actually what we tapped into. So we inverse this 4 hour. Not rejecting off anything here. It's like no sense of direction right now. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Nothing on the hourly that we're rejecting off of. I mean, I guess you have this order block right there, but we take liquidity, respect this 1 hour. It's not really an SMT or anything, so yeah. Dude, we've been edging these levels up here. Like, this looks like it's bound to get taken out. It's only a matter of time. I mean, who knows? We might just, sell off from here. This might be the end of the era of all-time highs. Which, if it is, I'm not tripping too much about it. I want to be complaining. Yeah, let's just look at this price action one more time, just put on a full scale so we can see everything without the replay mode. So market opens, we dump, we're waiting for longs to happen. We don't get an ideal entry, so we have to fall back on the 5 minute. And by the time we get the 5 minute, it's already too late. We smack this break even point, And at the break-even point, oh my gosh, my nose. At the break-even point, in fact, when we get the entry, we form this great short level alpha SMT, a 5 and 15-minute respect with that rejection wick and whatnot. A sweep right here. Man, this looks definitely could have been avoided if you took this. Yes, this is if you took this is like the straight up the most mechanical trade ever, bro. There's like zero sense of narrative in here. That's crazy. This was the most obvious avoidable loss right there. And then maybe the second one, I know I saw some people on Instagram take this loss. I think Riley actually took this. This was just so avoidable as well, man. I mean, just seeing that we have an unmitigated 5-minute down here. We have we tap the trend line. Like, dude, come on, man. This is just not something you should take. And I feel like a lot of like the old me a couple months ago would have taken this strictly because like I would have I don't know if it would be considered FOMO. In a way, kind of is, because it's like, you know, you're so confident in the drawn liquidity and you just have so much conviction we'll go higher towards these highs. Of course we didn't, but you know, if you think about it without seeing that, like just this, you have so much conviction that we're going to take those highs out, that you end up like not fully sticking to your plan. You're like, you jump the gun a little bit and you try to take some, you know, early trades, and you might miss out on a few confluences that you necessarily like would have to, that you would need to happen in order to take the trade, and you just ignore that stuff because all you're thinking about is how high your conviction is, and that you don't want to miss out on this perfect opportunity. But that's why it's so important to just actually pay attention and focus on your confluences, and you can't be so fixated on your bias and your drawn liquidity, because then shit like this will happen, bro. You'll miss this. Like, let me see. Let's actually check. Okay, let's go back to replay mode. Where are we at? Go back to replay mode so we don't have to deal with looking for it. But I'm gonna look for an SMT, okay? This 5-minute. Let's see, 1 minute. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't even go over ES, but we didn't have any 5-minutes, so there was literally there wasn't even an SMT. It would have been different if like ES tapped into a 5-minute and NQ didn't. Like, okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. But we didn't even tap into this, so looking for longs was very shitty. And then even this on ES, bro, we are making like some trend line, like Tory trades type strategy right here, bro. Like, we're just waiting for a breakout. Now, I completely forgot about this. On a few of my other recaps and my weekly recaps that I do, or my trade recaps and my weekly recaps, sorry, I noticed something that happens on ES a lot is when we start making equal lows like this. Now, I'm not talking about session lows, like session lows and highs, like, you know, if we have equal highs with London session, whatever, equal lows with Asia session, whatever the case may be. I'm not talking about those type of equal lows and equal highs. I'm talking specifically about these lower time frame equal highs, right? Like, we start developing these, and these act as a form of resistance and support, right? Like right here, boom, boom, boom. And then we are just starting to generate these equal lows right here, boom, boom. But like, when we make equal lows, typically what we do, for some reason, I don't know why, and it's only on ES, right? It doesn't really happen on NQ at all. But like, it's like whichever one gets broken first, like if we have equal highs right here, we can anticipate price going higher and then, you know, forming more equal lows here and whatnot. It's so fucking weird. I don't know why we do that. And, you know, I can honestly turn that into like a strat or like a confluence that I use, right? But for now, I just use that as extra confirmation. And since we had equal highs up here and equal lows right here, and we are also developing a buy side and a sell side trend line, I'm just waiting for either one to get broken through, okay? And now, at the time here, when NQ tapped that 5-minute and I was waiting for longs from here, what I was anticipating ES to do was this just be a fake out. Like, we break this trend line right here. We have a breakout trade right here, and then I was anticipating for this to be fake, and then we just push higher from here. but unfortunately we did not, and we just ended up selling off. What the fuck? What? That was so weird. But yeah, pretty shit day, man. Price action was definitely more readable. Like, dang, man, I just realized if my bad, my mind kind of went blank. But if we didn't have that 5 minute, we could have definitely caught easy longs here. At least towards this high or this, like right here. But dang, dude, very unfortunate, but. The losses today were definitely avoidable, and I just wanted to make a video on this just because I typically just do trade recaps and whatnot, and I wanted to, give some analysis on how to avoid these, and also just to look back on as well. Yeah, it's pretty much gonna be it for this video. Hopefully tomorrow on Friday have something to show for, because this whole week has just been butt juice, bro, just straight ass. This government needs to open back up, dude, because this price action, dude, is horrendous. What the fuck are we doing, man? Just edging shit. Like, I've never seen us edge equal lows and equal, like, dude, I've never seen that in my life. And I think it was last week it was last week that we did that. I've never seen us do that so much. And then now we're edging this trend line. Like, I don't know, man. But of course, our job is to react, not predict. So yeah, that's basically gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and end this off here, and I actually kind of did this pretty early, so I can go to bed at like 12. That's perfect. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later, and I'm gonna try to make more videos like this, like where not necessarily just a trade recap. It's just an overview of a day where I go more in depth, because I know that week recaps are like me going over the entirety of the week, and I kind of rush it just because if I go really in depth like I do with on each day like I did right now, it would be like 2, maybe even 3 hours long. So I just gotta figure out what kind of videos to make. Like, when would I do videos like these? Maybe on a day when we edge or we give setups that are really shitty, whatnot. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it. So I'm out for this one. Peace.